What's up, guys? Here at FC Wonderkid, episode 4. Here with my guy, Breton. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, I am tired, a bit tired, because I got vaccinated, but
Yep.
I'm feeling a bit of side effects with this, but it's not too bad. I'm glad I'm vaccinated. So
I'm glad you're vaccinated too. I did mine earlier last week, and it was hell. So we're through it. We're through the other side, right?
well, same time vaccinated and Portugal and in the States.
Look at
We're
that. Maybe
we we're
yeah,
in tune. We're in tune, Breton.
we're,
We
we're in tune. We're in tune. But
But
um,
did you see the news here in Portugal? Did you see what happened?
I can't say I did. No.
No, you don't know who was
Oh,
Portuguese champion?
oh. That's what you're talking. I thought we were still talking about vaccination. Something as small as. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I did see that news, and that news is absolutely amazing. How many years? Almost 20 years.
I think it's 19 years without being
Wow.
champion. Yeah,
19
people.
years.
I do understand the amounts of people in Lisbon because 19 years without being champion, and a club that players like Luis Figo, Cristiano
Mhm.
Ronaldo, Nani, Quaresma was a Sporting Academy player. Not a lot of he was the best Quaresma at Porto, but he was
Mhm.
a Sporting Academy player.
Okay.
But our guy, Wonder Kid coach Ruben
Yeah.
Emery, got it
Yeah.
done. Got it done. What?
Well, it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder why in those 19 years, you have so many of those academy kids that were on the field for them. Why, after 19 years, did it take a Ruben Amorim to tap into that, to do that?
I agree. I agree. And a lot of good players, in my opinion, haven't been noticed at
Mhm.
Sporting that deserve mention. Matush Pereira, now in the Premier League. Look at him now at West
Yeah.
Bromwich. I won't guarantee here, but probably if Ruben Emery hadn't gone to Sporting,
Mhm.
Palhinha wouldn't be the player he is today and being called to the Euros. So it's what I'm saying. The management of players that Ruben Amorim does is so good. So
Yeah.
good. He always buys what he needs, and now maybe he'll have to sell what he has. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
did you
the
see the
question.
news? Did you see the news?
I did see the news that that City is interested, very interested.
Called it. That's what I gotta say. We spoke about this deal happening,
Yeah.
and Benjamin Mendy. This is horrible news for him because
Yes.
Nuno Mendes at 18, if he goes to City, he starts.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. So City will have Bernardo Silva, Nuno Mendes, Cancel. Ederson's Brazilian, but he's got a Portuguese connection.
Sure.
So
And
that's
that was the question I had for you. Is this the start of a dynasty in Liga NOS, with Sporting? But if they, give into the selling pressure, obviously not.
I
Right. This,
agree. I
this could
agree.
just be one title, and then it's back to Porto, Benfica every year for the next 19.
I agree. But while Sporting's gonna sell Nuno Mendes, Pedro
Hmm.
Porro might be a permanent deal now,
Right.
assured by Sporting, and
Right.
that's a good deal at right back for them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But plus they bought Mateus Reis, which is a replacement for Nuno Mendes already.
Hmm.
It's not the same quality, okay, but Nuno Mendes is a phenom too. But I'm very curious to see how it's gonna be with Pot. Is Pot leaving Sporting? Because Sporting only have 50% of his future transfer fee.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're gonna buy the rest.
Hmm.
What's gonna happen here? But
Isn't it amazing that I think we went 3 full podcasts uh, without even mentioning Pedro Goncalves? I
true.
mean that
My bad.
he was, yeah, he was absolutely instrumental. And if I'm not mistaken, and this is probably a little too tongue in cheek, I shouldn't even say it, but Bruno Fernandes couldn't get it done, but Pedro Goncalves could.
Ooh, Brun is better than Pot. Okay,
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to compare the two, but man, it
it's
obviously
true.
was a team thing. But Pedro, what did he end the year with?
And I think
15,
I
16
don't.
goals?
Yeah, I think it was around that number. I think he's got 20 goals in the league. I'm not sure, or 20.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure with the numbers, but
Mm.
Uh, Bot is a very interesting case. I really don't know what's going to happen with him. I do feel like one more year at Sporting with Champions League football. It's not new for Sporting, but it's with the money that Sporting spent, having the Champions League football is amazing.
And you wouldn't
So,
say the same about Nuno?
about Nuno Mendes won't stay at Sport. It's impossible.
Uh,
Nuno Mendes is impossible to stay at Sporting.
mm,
Because it's too many big sharks that want him.
sure.
You know it too, and there's not a lot of quality left backs out there.
Right.
At 18 years old, you need to snatch him up, and I think Man City are going to make a really good deal snatching Nunes up.
Yeah.
But I wanted
Yeah.
to speak about something here in the podcast that was appeared in the news that Senhora Dolores Aveiro informed the Portuguese public that she wants her son, Cristiano Ronaldo, at Sporting. What are your thoughts on that? Imagine
I
seeing
mean,
Ronaldo at Sporting.
I don't know. I have to go back and look at the history of his mom saying things in the past. I don't know if this is fluff or tabloid fodder. But it makes sense. It
Mm,
makes sense that I don't know about now, but it makes sense that at some point in the future you'd want to return home. Many have done it, right? Carlos
hmm
Tevez is still kicking with Boca. And that's not the only one. It's the only one that comes to my head. So,
for sure.
does it happen tomorrow? I don't think so. I mean, why would it happen tomorrow? He's still at the top of his game.
Sporting wouldn't have the finances to pay Ronaldo right now
Right.
in this year contract, but I do think he's going to be a free agent in not this season, the next one.
Yeah.
And I do think Sporting have a chance to get Cristiano Ronaldo. Because I'll be honest, I'm going to kind of go with a conspiracy theory here. But it was all of a sudden that Nike started to sponsor Sporting. And another piece was Cristiano Ronaldo Academy.
Yeah.
There was no announcement, no preview. Straight away, Cristiano Ronaldo Academy and Nike is sponsoring Sporting. So I wouldn't be surprised if this were to happen. You have
Yeah.
Senhora Dolores Tavares saying it. So she's trying to convince him. And this would change Liga NOS. Cristiano Ronaldo going to Liga NOS would benefit everyone. From Benfica to Porto to Braga to Estoril.
Yeah.
Everyone would benefit. The money of the TV merchandise at Sporting would increase everyone's profits.
Okay.
So maybe Cavani would have gone to Benfica if Ronaldo had gone to Sport. I can't believe I'm saying Ronaldo going to Sporting.
Yeah.
But it's possible. We need to
It, it,
discuss
it,
possibilities.
it is. It is also a headline, and it made you click. So we'll see. We'll see whether or not it's clickbait or actual truth in the near
Mm.
future. I'm sure. But kind of one of the funny things in my looking at Sporting and kind of the feat of what they did. I look back at the 2016 Euro final. You know how we talked about Adair last
Mhm.
week. Is it true? And I know the answer because I actually did the math on this. 10 out of the 14 field players in that final versus France were all Sporting players at one
That
point.
doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me because Sporting is Benfica now has an amazing academy just like Porto and Olival,
Yeah.
but that won the youth league. But Sporting have history. It's football heritage, that academy.
Yeah.
Alcochete is part of Portugal's history. You got too many good players that left that academy. Ronaldo, Figo, as mentioned previously.
Oh yeah.
So it's Benfica did win this weekend against Sporting. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
saw that.
Cebolinha masterclass.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see the Cebolinha I saw at Grêmio. He's getting more and more confident, and there was a moment there nobody could take the ball off him.
Yeah.
So next season we may I want Gonçalo Ramos to play next to Darwin Nunes. I would love to see this duo up front for Benfica, and I think it'd work. I think
Mm.
we'd work because Gonçalo Ramos He's a baller. He's such a good talent.
Yeah,
Such.
2 goals. Yeah, he was great. That was midweek, right? Who did he play against? He dropped that 2 against.
Nacional, I think. I'm
All
not
right.
sure. I'm
All
not
right.
sure.
I mean, it's a glimpse. He did that the year prior too, near the end of the year.
Yes, he
Got his
did.
chance, put 2 goals in or something, and
Fast. Fast
yeah,
goal. And I think it's only like 2 touches, 2 goals. He touches the ball, it goes in. No, but
gotta
he's
love those stats.
yeah, exactly. No, but he's got
Yeah,
very good positioning. Goncalves is got a very good in-game IQ. Knows
that's
where
that.
to be. He's
Yeah.
got a he smells goals. He smells
Wow.
goals.
Well, it sounds to me like Portugal is going to be the place to watch in the coming years, especially if you do have Cristiano Ronaldo back. But I do feel like it'll be more from a commercial standpoint than it will
Mm.
be from an actual playing
Okay.
standpoint. I could be wrong about that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's Beckham. Beckham came to the States for a whole bunch of money, but he also transformed the game. Ronaldo is going to a place that doesn't necessarily need transformation, but as you've mentioned prior, needs investment.
True.
And that'll be interesting to see whether or not that happens. But yeah, I mean, Sporting winning first time 19 years, that is a story and a headline in and of itself. What a cool feat.
Well, congratulations, Sporting.
Yes,
You guys deserved it. Only one loss now with Benfica. Like no losses in the season. Sporting deserves to win this season.
sure. Yeah.
We got a lot of titles to discuss though. So was it the young bucks at Borussia Dortmund that make something happen? I don't know.
I think so. I think it was the Erling. I mean, I don't know, how do you fit Erling Haaland into Jadon Sancho? But
Okay.
that duo, and I think you put it best on Instagram. That duo is very easily the best U21 duo on the planet.
Mm,
No ifs, ands, and buts.
okay.
I don't see how you talk through that, right? But yeah, they won. Not only did they beat Red Bull Leipzig last weekend, they also then beat a midweek. I believe it was a 4-2 scoreline.
Okay.
Blitzed them essentially and lifted the DFB Pokal trophy. And Haaland had 2 and Sancho had 2, right?
Mm-hmm. 2 braces.
Yeah.
Sancho is killing Leipzig.
It
I don't
is.
know what the Leipzig defenders did to him, but he has no mercy. Sancho doesn't have any mercy with
Yeah,
Leipzig.
wait. What is it from The Last Dance that's become like the best meme in the world? It's Michael Jordan sitting there like this, and he goes, "And I took that personally."
Yeah.
Jadon Sancho took something personally.
Exactly. Like Leipzig. Did you see what Haaland did to Upamecano?
Yeah, I did.
What? No, not why. Haaland is a beast. Like I was watching it, and I even said, "Whoa, whoa, what
Yeah,
is happening?" We
yeah.
got 2 special talents playing. You know, that's you had more though. I wanted to ask you though, does Sancho start
Ooh.
for England?
Ah, I mean, in my notes, I would love to see Sancho start for England. I don't think you can leave him on the bench right
Mm-hmm.
now, based on this form. If he actually keeps this form, I mean, we're less than a month away, Alex. You
True.
know, that's a big deal. You bring him in this type of form as he's full fitness. I don't know how you don't put him in front of a. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you construct that midfield, but
I
as you
agree.
said last week, Gareth Southgate has a wonderful problem that he has to solve.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you got a couple of kids now with Jude Bellingham. He played 45 minutes for Dortmund, and Gio Reyna, he came on at the end to have that 1 minute. That still it's a minute played.
Well,
Like
yeah, and I gotta say, Americans are picking up a lot of trophies this year. It's
yes,
pretty historic, not just for Gio Reyna to do what Christian Pulisic did in 2017, I think it was. He lifted
yes,
the trophy as well. But look at who has lifted other trophies this year. You got
mm,
Serginho Dest
mm-hmm,
winning the Copa del Rey. You have Weston McKennie
mm-hmm,
winning the Coppa Italia. You have Mark McKenzie,
yeah,
Philadelphia Union boy, winning the Belgian Cup. Brendan Aronson winning both the league and the cup in Austria. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. Oh, Zach Steffen. I know he won the EFL Cup final and he won the Premier League. Obviously, he is their second string, but he was on the field, I believe, for that EFL Cup final, and I may have gotten that wrong. But that's a lot of Americans, man.
And you got Pulisic or Zach Steven getting the Champions League.
One American is all you need to make history. That's how young we are when it comes to this. But yes, one of them will be winning the Champions League final. And I forgot to, there's another big one out here, and that's Timothy Weah could take another step closer today, winning the League One title with Lille. So
we did mention Lille in the last episode. So if you want to check out on YouTube, Lille. Sorry, I interrupted you, but I just wanted to plug it.
No worries. Hey, I ran out of the I was at the end of the list anyway.
You got so many U.S. players now. It's right. I won't say I feel jealous because I'm here in Portugal, but you certainly have a better future than you had in the past. So
absolutely. There's no doubt.
Exciting times. And I want to say that Borussia Dortmund fans, prepare yourselves because I feel like Sancho's leaving. But there's a quote that Sancho said when he got the DFB Pokal. And that quote said, "We are a big club. We should win trophies." Oh, what's happening?
Visitor.
Oh, we got a feature.
Someone just woke up from a nap. You might have heard the crying in the background. This is my little wonder kid. This is Sophie.
Hi, Sophie.
Say hi to Alex over in Portugal. We were just talking about Jadon Sancho and how Alex does think he's going to leave Dortmund. What do you feel? She doesn't care. He just doesn't care. All right, you want to go back with mommy? Yeah. Okay.
Bretson, you're a lucky guy.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, she. You might have heard her screaming in the background. She woke up from a nap and wasn't very happy about it. So that's my life right now.
It's worth it. Fantastic. I love to see it.
Yeah, podcasts and family. What better way to do it, right?
This is what I said the last podcast. We're just having a good talking about football, having fun, and showing it to people. Because we got good feedback, so we're happy. But as I was saying, Sancho did say that he wanted Dortmund to flip the script and start winning trophies. For that to happen, they'll need to keep Haaland. But who do you think would be a good deal for Dortmund to get? Patston Daka maybe if Haaland leaves.
Yeah, the issue there is I think Leipzig, that's already kind of spoken for.
Brian Broby.
Yeah, well, you got Broby, but I believe Jesse Marsch is going to bring Patson Daka with him to Leipzig. Okay. And to be honest, I think he'd be stupid not to. But from a Dortmund perspective, how do you replace? Wait, the question is replace Sancho or replace Haaland?
Well, you have to replace both, I assume so.
Yeah, well, I'm going to make a bold statement here. Okay. I think both are staying another year.
No. Sancho's staying at Dortmund? Look, I would love to see it. I'd love to see it, and I did mention that this comment that he said that Dortmund needs to start winning. But you see, I even mentioned United. I feel like Sancho's going to United.
Yeah, well.
So
I think
wasn't there a gentleman agreement to leave between Sancho and Dortmund? Fabrizio mentioned it.
I'd have to have him refresh that because I don't know. But Michael Zorc has been pretty clear that Haaland is a Dortmund player and is going to remain a Dortmund player for another year. He's like, I've said this 4 or 5 times. And the question is whether or not Haaland has any sway power with Sancho or does Sancho just head back? But it is more likely that it's going to be them replacing Sancho than Haaland. I'll definitely give you that. Yeah,
I agree. If they were to replace Sancho, I think a good find would be Nani of PSV.
Okay.
He's He's got really good technique. He has good direct goal involvements in Eredivisie. I
Yeah,
think he had an injury though, but I think they could snatch him up for a good deal,
they,
and they get
they
20
most
million.
certainly could. Yeah,
20 million. But
yeah, easily.
why do you think Sancho's gonna stay in Holland too? What has that thought in your head?
I gotta go with unfinished business.
Okay.
And you have a core there. You got to remember that they actually got bit by the injury bug pretty badly. You have Witzel out. Of course, I'm going to. A lot of their defense was injured most of the year.
Hummels, right?
Uh
Hummels.
huh. Yeah, and you're relying. You got an 18-year-old in Reina. You got Sancho's 21. You got Holland who's 20, 21, right?
Yeah.
You've got this core that seems like they want to get stuff done. And there's unfinished business there. I think Sancho wants to stick around in order to take care of that unfinished business. And that's
Mm.
at least give Bayern the run for the money that they promised their fans. And they haven't done so yet. So
Mm.
I'll eat crow. I get it. It's a business. And it is nice to think of Sancho blitzing, Premier League defenses, whether it's in red or blue or whatever. But ultimately, I think the better narrative, the better story would be imagine Borussia Dortmund somehow finding a way past the giant that is Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Wishful thinking.
I still feel like Sancho's gonna see the money of the top four in England, or the top six now with Leicester.
Sure.
And I'm not saying Leicester's gonna get him, but I do feel he's gonna be very tempted to going back to England. It's gonna be very difficult, very difficult. And you got Bayern now with Nagelsmann, Upamecano. I'm gonna say they're gonna win the league. So I'd like to be hopeful with Dortmund because they got such a good young core, and they got Yusufa Mukoko, maybe going absolutely bonkers next season because he's 16 still. But and they have a world class player. He's injury prone, but Marco Reus, he deserved this title. He stayed. He's the captain of the club. He's been an academy player. He lives and dies for Borussia Dortmund, and Marco Reus deserves more than anyone this trophy. And I feel like there's such a good bond between all the group. I feel like Sancho really respects Reus. Haaland respects Reus. Piszczek, at the end, he was crying. Did you see it? It was a lovely moment, team moment. Haaland went absolutely Viking mode as he always does and had a huge jump, But I feel like there's a good core at Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
I do understand it. I'd love to see it too staying, but
yeah, and it's not quite like for like, but now that I've thought about it, them bringing Alex Isaac back from Sociedad, it's not like for like from Sancho to Isaac, but man, his form has been absolutely phenomenal in La Liga, and it always made me wonder and kind of cringe how you bought him and you never had the chances to throw at him in order to see what he could do, and it'd be. Me, I'm all about narratives. It would be wonderful for him to walk back and get it done in front of the yellow wall. But that is going to be something to watch, and I'm sure the headlines will do nothing but prognosticate about who's going to be the next one to potentially fill the gap or the shoes left by Sancho. But I think Dortmund's year would have been different if Sancho had stayed healthy, and you can say that about any year. But man, he's showing right now how big of a piece he is to that puzzle.
Yeah, sure is. Yeah. I agree with you.
And here we are. Before we get to the other trophy, I just got to say outright that we're going to go to Wonder Kid of the Week right now. My Wonder Kid of the Week. He's my Wonder Kid of the Week, and the reason being is because, like you just said, RB Leipzig had no answer for him last weekend. They had no answer for him midweek, even after seeing him 3-4 days before. And then I believe before we even got on here, 2 assists already in their Bundesliga match that's still ongoing. So I mean, I think it's something like 4 goals, 5 assists. I'm sorry. I know it's something like 4 goals, 5 assists in the last 3.5 games for
Oh,
him. And it's just unbelievable. He's got to get Wonder Kid of the Week for me. Who's yours?
well, I just want to say fantastic pick, a Wonder Kid of the Week, because Sancho is showing levels. But my Wonder Kid of the Week is a player that I feel like is very underappreciated, and that player is Ferran Torres.
Yeah.
Who, I need to mention this, has previously scored. Ferran Torres has scored a hat trick to Manuel Neuer for Spain with Ansu Fati. So now it's another hat trick, but it's in a different place, and it's with Man City, which I do feel have a better squad than Spain right now.
Yeah.
And he was the club's third youngest hat trick scorer. I feel like it's behind Raheem Sterling, and I can't remember the other name. But I feel like, I think it's Raheem Sterling, but he's the third youngest.
Okay.
And what a goal! You see that? Oh,
yeah. I mean,
El Nino. He reminded me of El Nino Torres, Ferran Torres. I think we were seeing reminiscent Torres.
Yeah, it's not just the last name.
Really good fun. 20 million pounds. That's a bargain signing by Guardiola.
It is a bargain signing. I mean, they took advantage of a Valencia that was in dire straits. And that's also something like, somebody like a Yunus Musa. That's why he's gotten a chance there, because they couldn't go out and plug the gaps. But yeah, 20 million for Ferran Torres. They'll spend fivefold on that for a defender. But 20 million on an attacker for Manchester City means, and they're getting 13 goals out of him this year so far.
Ryan Brewster was more expensive than Ferran Torres to Man City for us to have an idea of how good of a deal Man City got. And I'll say one thing. Guardiola doesn't get it wrong with Spanish players. Thiago Alcantara to Bayern, Eric Garcia to Man City. When he gets a Spanish player, you must say, why do you want him? It's because he's pretty good. That's for sure. So,
well, Alex, that's a paramount investing rule. You buy what you know. If you know your players, if you know how they play, how they fit into a tactic, that's what you do. So yeah, it makes complete sense that he has a high success rate with Spanish players.
If there's a good technical ability, which La Masia talents usually have, Guardiola loves that talent. Foden, Kimmich, all players that have really good technique dribbling.
Yeah.
Guardiola's going to go bonkers for them.
Yeah.
But we're talking about now, we got the Wonder Kid of the Week. Yours was Sancho. Mine is Ferran Torres. People, say in the comment section, who was your Wonder Kid of the Week? Because we want to see what you guys think. Because if it's all us, it kind of gets boring, right? So having your feedback, we'd love to see it.
And let's throw another shout out there, if you don't mind.
Sure. Love it.
And this might, hopefully this does actually show up in the comment section. Gedson Fernandes, okay? Cast off by Jose Mourinho. Cast off, right? Needed playing time, left Benfica, and you know more of the specifics than I do about the whole situation as to why he left Benfica on loan. But he has, this is not a walk in the park to just go into Turkey, right? The Super League, and just put a stamp on the starting 11. And it didn't work that way for Gedson at all. He had to wait, and he had some injuries. And the last 6 games, he's been given the keys to the midfield. They've won 6 games in a row in the league, and they were fighting tooth and nail until the last game for the Super League title. And they ended up losing. You ready for this? They ended up losing by one goal.
But Gedson made a difference.
Gedson made a massive difference. And hopefully we do have some Turkish, specifically Galatasaray fans that will come in and tell us exactly how much he means to that club, because he's been nothing but amazing. And I can tell you on Twitter, the most quote tweets we've gotten recently in a tweet has been on this one because it's mostly Tottenham fans saying, "Why the hell did we let him go?" Great.
Tottenham fans, I don't think they really need to talk, but Benfica fans, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's interesting that you say he went on loan to Galatasaray. One of the best matches I saw Gedson play was against Galatasaray with Bruno Lage and Florentin Luis in midfield. I'll
Okay.
never forget. Bruno Lage put Florentin Luis and Gedson Fernandes against Galatasaray. What did they do? They beat them in Galatasaray in the Europa League. I love that you mentioned Gedson. Gedson is such a good talent. And Florentin too. Like, next season, I hope Benfica gives them a chance. Because Florentin Luis and Gedson Fernandes, they deserve. And Jota.
And
João
Jota.
Felipe.
Yeah.
João
Okay.
Felipe. Oh, I never forget the under-19 European Championship. The
Yeah.
free kick. The
Absolutely.
whole cocky vibe. He's got a cocky vibe. He's got the hair. He's got the style. You know. So I was so hopeful with him, and I still am. I still am though.
Yeah.
But I need to see something happening, just like everyone. You know.
Sure.
Or you start playing, or you start scoring goals. He's 21, 22.
Yeah.
So
And if Benfica are going to take any sort of a lesson from the book of Sporting this past year, it is maybe put some trust into the guys you've molded.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I feel like the whole league should do that. And I did see comments that we don't speak about Porto. I just want to put it clear. I don't have a club in Portugal. I do have a club, but not in Portugal. And I absolutely love Porto. You know that my favorite talent is Fabio Silva. I'm not going to say it. I love Fabio Silva.
Sure.
And I do feel like a lot of people are writing him off at Wolves. He's going to prove them wrong because Fabio Silva is amazing. And people will see it. But you got the youth league team with Diogo Leite, Diogo Queiroz, Diogo Costa, Romário Baró,
Yeah.
Fábio Vieira, Vitinha. You got so many good youngsters. And now Francisco Conceição,
Mm-hmm.
right winger. Ooh, ooh, he's got that Messi-esque. I'm not saying he's Messi or he's near the talent of Messi when he
Right.
was that age, but he's got a Messi-esque type of dribbling. And he on the under-19 match, he came off the bench and he scored a goal straight away. So Francisco Conceição, remember the name. He's very good talent.
And that's when I get a nice little notification. That's Chico, right?
Chico Conceição, yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. No, I did see today. He actually, I think it was for the B squad, but he had a couple assists or something. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
they've got a
team.
future too, for sure.
Well, we've been having top 5 lists and it's been going good, right?
Yeah, it has. I think so. I mean, people seem to be pretty interested in it, and they have their own opinions. But this is where we also want you to hit the comment section because no answers right. Absolutely no answers right. So, what do you want to do a top 5 list on today, Alex?
Top 5 under 21 goalkeepers. That'd be
Okay.
interesting. I feel like there's a lot of keepers that aren't mentioned a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and
And
you
deserve to be
specifically
mentioned.
you specifically left out the age that Gianluigi Donnarumma is. So I get where you're going here. The life past Gigio, correct?
Yes,
All
I
right.
love that title. We should put that as the YouTube title. Life past Gigio Donnarumma at under 21s.
I like that too. Let's do it.
So you want to do? You start with the number 5, and I start with the number 5.
Sure.
You started in the previous one. I'll start on this one. I think.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. My number 5 is no. I'm not gonna make like a like a huge announcement, but it's a Turkish player, Ersin Destanoğlu. I know I butchered it, but it's a good Besiktas player, very good goalkeeper. Mentally, you can see his face. He's got that ruthless face, which he's which he does justify it on the pitch because I feel like I did see he's averaging 89 minutes per game for Besiktas this season. So he is becoming a very important player. And we might see him in the Turkish national team next to Demiral. And
Yeah.
so he's my number 5.
I think that's a good one, and I think we'll bring him back a little bit later, but I'm not going to tell you where.
Okay.
Okay, and I have a couple more stats about him that I know you know, and you didn't want to steal my thunder, so you let me
It's the
have
clean sheet,
all
right?
of it. So I have to preface this because my number 4 and my number 5 are more what's the word? Ambitious. They're more
Okay.
aspirational in that I think these two have unbelievable ceilings,
Mm.
but they do not. They have not yet realized those or even gotten close to it. And in one case, my number five's case, they haven't been given the chance.
Okay.
And I am definitely going to butcher this name, so please, you have a better handle on this than I do. Arnaud Tenache for Barcelona.
Arnaud Tenache. Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
said it right. Yeah.
yeah. Well, thank you. I tried my best here, but his reflexes. Okay, so I have not seen a young goalkeeper's reflexes this good. And
Okay.
we've been able to watch quite a bit of him, especially when I get codes that allow me to watch some of the La Masia games. Um, but he's got, as any La Masia goalkeeper we can
Careful.
attest to, he's got phenomenal feet, phenomenal distribution. His shot stopping and his reflexes specifically are otherworldly, in my opinion. I just think the biggest problem here is, how do you make your way to? It's going to have to be a loan, most likely, or a
Okay.
backup or whatever. But he's my number 5. He's only 19. He's basically a baby when it comes to goalkeepers, and I think we'll see a whole lot more of him. And it might not be with Barcelona in the future. I don't know.
I like that pick. I like that pick. And you're taking the La Masia talents. I absolutely love that pick.
We could do a whole podcast on La Masia talents. Probably
Was
a
it
whole series.
Onana? Onana was a goalkeeper at La Masia.
Yes, he was. Yeah,
Icardi. Icardi wasn't a keeper, but
yeah.
he was at La Masia. But Onana, so he might follow the footsteps of going to Ajax. Everybody's going to Ajax from Barcelona, in my
That's an
opinion.
interesting thought because he'd do very well there. He would.
Mm,
And
okay.
Kel Sherpin, who's the young guy that is supposed to potentially take over for Stecklenburg at Ajax, he just hasn't shown what people really want to see. And I might get hurt in the comment section for that, but I know recently in the sparing starts that he received,
Mm,
he was not compelling. Let's say that.
okay.
Whereas Tanash, right away, I think he'd endear himself to a place like Ajax for sure.
Okay.
All right. So who's your 4?
My number 4 is Diogo Costa
Okay.
because
Yeah.
he's one of the best vocal keepers he's so vocal. And I want to say the best young trio at defense in the world at under 21 is Diogo Queiroz, Diogo Leite, and Diogo Costa.
Okay.
0 goals suffered in the Portuguese under 21 league. No, zero goals suffered in the under 21 European Championship by Diogo Costa, Diogo Leite, and Diogo Queiroz. Plus, they played in the UEFA Youth League, and they killed it.
Yeah.
So I was highly impressed with Diogo Costa. The only thing I would improve a lot would be the corners. You can still see he's a little bit shaky on the corners, but
Okay.
reflexes, vocal. It's really Diogo Leite and Diogo Costa were so good. I'd say it was 2 years ago, 2019, when Diogo Costa had the chance to play for Porto's A team,
Mm-hmm.
and he had 6. Listen to me. Diogo Costa had 6 clean sheets in his first 6 matches for Porto.
Uh-huh.
So that's a heck of a stat, and
That is a heck of a stat. It
let's
makes
hope.
me wonder. Makes
Let's
me
hope
wonder
they
why
play.
Porto doesn't put that defensive spine intact for the
Yeah.
future and let them grow together.
Diogo Queiroz went to. It must be Sérgio Conceição, but Diogo Queiroz went to Famalicão.
Okay.
So, but they're playing really well.
Was
Next
that permanent
stage,
or was that a loan?
it's a permanent, but 50%
Oh,
of the next deal will go
okay.
to Porto. So if Porto were to want to buy Diogo Queiroz, they'll have an easy deal because they already have 50% of it.
Makes
So,
sense.
but if you guys want to check out more of these 3 players, this is going to be the next stage of the under 21 European Championship, and Portugal will play with Pot, Daniel Bragança, Vitinha. Whew, Vitinha has such a good technique,
Yeah.
such a good youngster. Wolves, snatch him up.
Yeah.
You'll regret it if you don't get it.
I believe the word is buttery. Yeah, he's he's a lot of fun to watch.
I like him.
All right, well, I'm gonna go with my number 4 since you're really you know going after these Portuguese players hard. I gotta go with a little bit of a homer type of
Okay.
situation here. I'm gonna give you the best goalkeeping prospect right now in the United States, and let's remember, before Christian Pulisic, before Gio Reyna, before Weston McKennie, America was known mostly for their goalkeeping transplants, right? You had guys like Brad Friedel at
Tim Howard.
Liverpool and Blackburn. You had Tim Howard at Manchester United, and Everton is what he's known for. You even had, even before Zach Steffen, Casey Keller at Rayo Vallecano and in the Bundesliga, and I think with Leicester City, actually, in the Premier League. And these guys were known for standing on their head because the U.S. was not very good most of the time, and they were pretty amazing. So there's another guy that he's setting himself up to be in that category, and that's David Ochoa. He's a 20-year-old, plays for Real Salt Lake. Salt Lake is known for Richie Ledesma, Sebastian Soto.
Okay.
But David Ochoa has shown he's got a little bit of a swagger to him. His shot stopping is unbelievable. He made at the Olympic qualifiers some amazing saves. And then you were also reminded as to how young he was, because he made a pretty brutal mistake in the semifinal that would have seen them. All they had to do was beat, I believe it was Honduras, and they would have qualified for the Olympics. But a pretty bad mistake got him started on the bad footing. But either way, regardless, expect a young goalkeeper. Exactly. We wouldn't have Ilan Meslier where he is if he didn't make mistakes, right? But David Ochoa, I got to say, out of the U.S. crop of next level goalkeepers, he's my number 4. And you're going to see a lot of him this year because he's won the starter position and the MLS season just started. So keep him on your radar. Buy him in FM, buy him in career mode, whatever you need to do. Get him there.
Is he cheap?
He might be. Yeah, he's got to be. I think. Well, so somebody else, tell us in the comment section. I don't know. You might have 30 million some other time. But let's keep moving because we got a lot to talk about, right?
For sure.
Who's your number 3?
My number 3 is the QRC Genk goalkeeper, Martin van der Voort.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's such a good talent in terms of potential. He might be, of all the 5 players that we're going to mention, the one that has the most potential. Donnarumma type potential.
Yeah.
Because he's the youngest keeper in the Champions League. He's got amazing reflexes. Like Van der Voort has really good reflexes.
Yep.
Plus, look at this stat. Not a stat, but more of a curiosity. He played in the UEFA Youth League one day. And in the same day at night, he played in the Champions League. He was on the bench of the Champions League. So UEFA Youth League by the day, and at the night, subbed at the UEFA Champions League matches.
Florian Wirtz type situation there. Love it. Love it.
And Greenwood, right? Greenwood was doing
Greenwood,
the essays, and he needed to go to Paris.
Love it.
So he's my number 3.
That's a good pick, and I would love to see. I think he follows us on Instagram. I'd love to see his Genk teammates talk him up a little more because he's had a good season for them. He really has. I don't think that young Genk team has done what they wanted to do this year, but they are inching closer in the championship round in Belgium to Club Brugge at the top. So they're still in it. They're still in it, and the big reason why. Yeah,
that's a goodbye. Goodbye, boy.
Yeah, McKen. Yeah, absolutely. But that's a good number 3. My number 3 is going to be a little more far east, and not far east like Japan, Eastern Europe, and I'm going to go with Anatoly Trubin, who has been the starter for Shakhtar. Shakhtar obviously has been a perennial, call him a powerhouse, definitely, or a place where interesting Brazilians go to play. But Trubin at 19, I believe, has been a starter this year, the whole year, and he's got 15 clean sheets So again, obviously, with a goalkeeper, you pretty much get what reflexes, shot stopping, not making egregious mistakes. He's shown that you don't hold on to that position. You don't hold on to being the number one at a place like Shakhtar without testing your mettle and showing that you can do things. And I believe his crowning achievement this year was blanking Real Madrid. He served them up a whole lot of nothing.
I was gonna mention that one. Really good mention. That's a really good mention. Like, he was really good with Real Madrid. Yeah, like Real Madrid didn't score that match. Is it that right?
No, and I think he made like 8 or 9 saves. He was killer. Just amazing. And
you remember those results? Those shocking results of Shakhtar in this Champions League. Why would they want to change it? Why would they want to change it?
I know.
Well, you mentioned him, and I'm gonna mention now that he's my number 2. Trubin he's my number 2, and another thing that Trubin has going along with him is that he's a very tall keeper. He's a very tall keeper for his age, and that match against Real Madrid, yeah, he was so good, good. You took it, like what you said, on point with Trubin.
Good,
and it was José Bot probably that got him, like the mastermind that was at Benfica, José Bot. So now he's at Shakhtar, getting all those Brazil. How did they get so many good Brazilian players? I don't get it.
I don't either. They find some diamonds in the rough, and some they're not gonna get the Reniers, and then they're not gonna. And I probably killed that name. The Vinicius. They're not gonna get those players, but they will get the. I'm already blanking on them, but my favorite is their right back, which is I think his name is just Dodo. And he has been amazing at times. The limited amount of minutes I've been able to watch him, young guy too, 22 maybe. So I love what they do there, and always a place to look for up and coming stars. And Trubin is absolutely one of them. But since there's overlap, since there's overlap there, I gotta go with Destinaglu, and I probably said that wrong, but Ersin Destinaglu. And I put him as high as 2. Why?
2. Why?
Why? I know. Why? I've actually seen him play a couple times recently, and absolutely phenomenal. He has had stinkers of games, though. He hasn't been Mr. like rock at the back, but he's 20 years old.
Yeah.
But listen to this. 35 starts this year for Besiktas. Is that how you pronounced it?
I say Besiktas. How'd you say it?
Besiktas. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. You said it right. Whatever you said, everyone rewind. Listen to how he said it and go with that. He's only been conceding 1 goal a game, which is actually pretty good. And Super League is actually a pretty high-scoring league. So I think that's pretty great. 13 clean sheets. And even better, you ready for this?
Tell me.
35 games in net. You don't win the title if you just have some guy that's not worth it in goal.
I agree.
And Destinaglu may have been. You ready for this? We were talking about Gedson earlier and how Galatasaray lost the title by 1 goal. Well, guess who probably kept that goal out of net?
Well, your guy. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yep. So he probably was the difference if you think about it. It could have been the defense. It could have been whatever. But hey, for what we're talking about right now, the 20-year-old goalkeeper for Besiktas in Turkey, they won by 1 goal, plus 1 goal differential. I think this guy needs to be given a little more credit than he's currently getting. And it could be because not a lot of us Westerners look at Turkey when it comes to goalkeeping talent. But guess what? There is a lot of goalkeeping talent in Turkey, and I can list them all, but I'm going to kill their names. So I'm going to put it in the comment section if we cut this and put it up there. Okay?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That'd be great. That'd be great. So I'm assuming our number 1 is 1, 2, 3, Ilan Meslier.
Meslier, absolutely.
Okay.
Love it.
Why? Because he's been absolutely unbelievable in the Premier League with Bielsa. But do you have any special characteristic you absolutely love of Meslier?
we talked about this with Foden, and some others. Mount too has this characteristic. You get a guy that's beaten down, and kind of victimized in some respects, and sometimes it's rightfully so. Although nobody deserves a whole lot of flack when it comes down to it. It's a football game, but he made some pretty bad mistakes in his first showings for Leeds United. Okay, and I mean really bad.
No, I remember.
Yeah, but ultimately he came back and he has provided us with how many man of the match performances this season, and
Against big teams.
against big teams. Yeah.
If you're playing away against Leeds, you're gonna have a tough match. Like, I don't think Leeds. I don't see them losing away from home. It's Bielsa. He seems to find it comfortable to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So he's a quirky guy, but he's a really good coach. Guardiola says he's one of the best, and I've said it in the past. I'd love to. I had seen Foden with Bielsa at Leeds, but
Yeah.
Meslier, the future of France, Lafont. We still hopefully have high expectations, but Meslier right now he's taking the show at that French goalkeeper spot.
He is, and I think he's one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League right now.
Stats wise, yes. Yes.
And we probably could end it on this. Okay, one of the best Twitter comments I saw when we posted on his game the other day was, he looks like a baby. Okay, look at him; he's got a baby face.
It's true.
But if you listen to him in an interview, he sounds like Barry White. Right, he's got this deep, soulful voice, and somebody made that comment, and I was definitely laughing my ass off. So, good on you for whoever put that comment down. I probably should actually flash it up on the screen so we can give him credit. But yeah, baby face and a voice like Barry White. We're gonna end it there, right?
Yeah, French people tend to have a very unique voice too, speaking English. He was speaking English or French? Was it English?
I don't know. I haven't looked up. I got to look up which video clip, because I haven't seen many interviews with him, but I'm sure we can post one.
For sure. So we got the top 5 done, but we missed out on a title win, didn't we?
Yeah. Can't leave England yet.
So the FA Cup, Leicester. What are your thoughts?
Well, first I can start with my thoughts about Chelsea. And I still don't understand why Tuchel did not put his most informed attackers in the form of Kai Havertz and Christian Pulisic in that 11. If it's about making runs, I don't know what Werner gives you more than Pulisic right now. And none of this takes away anything from what Leicester did on the day. But I do know that in the comment section, we are going to see VAR wins the day. VAR wins again, right?
Oh, no.
And I'll tell you what, we ended last week's podcast starting to talk about the genius of how Leicester is continuing to stay relevant even after that amazing win.
Love it.
Years ago. And this just proves it. This is not a flash in the pan. It's a rebuild that had to happen with the capital that they utilized to sell when they had to sell off their spine, right? Drinkwater,
True.
Conte, Mahrez, Maguire, Ben Chilwell. Yeah, absolutely.
Conte.
Yeah. And you take that money and you find a way to bring in guys like Tielemans, who scored the goal and was everywhere on the day. Guys like James Maddison, who unfortunately, he's been relegated to a smaller role near the end of the year as he's been regaining fitness. But man, he was lights out earlier this season, right? And then you have, Kasper Schmeichel's a different. He's not a wonder kid, but we could talk about him forever.
Very important.
And Wesley Fofana, who for me is one of behind Ruben Dias. Wesley Fofana is the number 2 defensive signing of the season in the Premier League, easily.
Yeah, easily. Yeah. I agree with you. And you can make an argument that he was the number 1 too. I think.
Okay.
because he was cheaper, right? And he was outshined with the buy by Saliba. Everybody
Sure.
was talking about Saliba, but nobody was talking about Wesley Fofana. But I'd like to say something that I feel like is really important with
Yeah.
Leicester, and that is how three players always stick there, and that is Schmeichel, that is Vardy, and Wes Morgan. They stay.
Westmore.
Yes, Wes Morgan. Like he deserved to lift the to lift the trophy with Schmeichel, because these three players went through the championship. They won the championship. They won the Premier League. They won the FA Cup now, and they went to the Champions League together. So they've got history. These
They
three
do.
players, they've got history. So they deserve to win it. And Vardy was laughing the whole game. Did you see it? Like at the end, he was just he Reece James had a nudge on him and he was just laughing.
It ain't a party without Jamie Vardy.
He was gonna sign for Ibiza supposedly before he signed for an English club, Fleetwood. I don't know if you say Fleetwood. Is it
Yeah, you might be right there, but I still remember being over in Spain or a while back, and it was a bunch of. It was right around the time that they were very close to clinching the title, Premier League title, and we were in some underground bar that was pretty awesome, by the way. But we're down there, and these Brits come in drunk, piss drunk, and they start singing "Jamie Vardy's having a party," and they got the whole bar singing it, and half the people there probably didn't know who the hell he was, but it was awesome. I mean,
well,
classic.
do you think it's Kane who starts for England, but Vardy should get some minutes in the end with that pace, with that energy he has?
Goodness, yeah. You give him 20 minutes, 30 minutes, he'll make something happen.
Yeah, and Calvert-Lewin is a third option.
It's good.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
We could talk about that at the end, the Euros, but I want to mention too Brendan Rodgers, because Leicester have achieved a lot by winning the Prem and with Claudio Ranieri and staying at the top. This is what deserves a lot of recognition in my eyes. Staying at the top, being one of the top dogs, one of the top six. And to be that, you need to have a quality coach. And Brendan Rodgers, I think it was some news that he refused the Tottenham interview. And it's understandable because Leicester have a good owner, they've got a good team, they make good replacements for their sales. Because you mentioned Conte went and Didi came. Mahrez left. They have players for every position. Now, Ricardo Pereira, another really good right back, injury prone, I know, unfortunately, but Wesley Fofana, I want to mention him.
Yeah.
Wesley Fofana is one of the best center backs out there, and I wouldn't be surprised if he were to be picked for the Euros for France. He deserves it. He put the performances in the highest level, Premier League. Yeah. Wesley Fofana performed. And the culture at Leicester, you see what a good owner does? This is the culture of a club with a healthy environment. Positive.
And what a way to reward your owner and the late owner, right? Because of that crazy thing that happened a couple years ago, 3 years ago. But what a way to reward that family for their ownership too. And you could see the tears in the son's eyes when they were passing that trophy around. But we also have to remember they had two big contributions this whole year. Two big contributions from young boys, right? From guys that were, I don't know if they're Leicester born, Leicester bred. But these guys, Harvey Barnes, who did not play a part in the final, has been awesome for them this year. Obviously, he's always got things to work on, but he's given us some of the goals of the season in terms of runs of the season, I should at least say. And then you have Luke Thomas coming in, and I believe he was left back for them, correct? Because there's been injuries all season. And these guys didn't miss a beat. In fact, they played significant roles in this type of a final win. So I got to ask you, when it all comes down to it, with the signings, and we know that they're doing really good business, and they continue to do really good business, Do you consider, or what would it take you to consider Leicester City as an actual top 6 team? If we throw out the United, the City, the Liverpool, the Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, do you start to put? Is it now the Big 7? What do you say?
By keeping Brendan Rodgers, I feel like that was a big statement, because if it was 3 years ago, Brendan Rodgers would have gone to Tottenham. And Leicester keeping him shows that we are willing to go against the best.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe long term, we have Everton too, which is investing.
Sure.
So we got Wolves, which I'm sure they're gonna invest big bucks soon, because they paid for an 18-year-old striker 40 million.
Yeah.
So we might see big move. Adama Traore leaving to generate funds, but Leicester, I do feel like they are the pioneers of a proper rebuild. Because when Ranieri left, they went on a rebuild, because every winning team, pieces are going to go and you're going to make businesses. And they made it perfectly. Yeah. I'd say spotless. I'd even say I can't see how they would have done better than what they did, because they stayed at the top.
I don't know, and you have to think about it. That spine, that team is not really going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, Ndidi has. Okay, there will be some very big suitors, as you mentioned last week. Manchester United would not be dumb to start knocking on his door and showing him more money.
For who?
But for Ndidi,
I agree.
Right, but you've got Ndidi and Tielemans. You've got, I really like how Harvey Barnes has been developing, and I think he'll only be better as the years go on. Yeah. You've got Luke Thomas as a long-term fullback for them. You have money still in the bank. You have Wesley Fofana, who's 20 years old, right? And you've already phased out your core, essentially, from your Premier League winning team. And I mean, this is a team that can grow together. They all have a very similar character. You've got the guys, the locker room guys. I mean, these guys could be top 2, top 3 for the coming years. I don't know if they can win it again, but
Champions League run.
Champions League run would be awesome. Yeah,
that would change a lot of opinions too. That would change a lot. So we're gonna end it here. For everyone who's still listening, thank you so much. We really appreciate your support. And if you could subscribe to our channel and like the video, it would be a huge help too. And Brenton.
As always, man, nurse that vaccine hangover, and we'll see you next week.
For sure. I'll get better. See you then, guys.
See ya.